Hello students, welcome to the class. Types of advertising, lesson 24, process of creating an advertisement from rough sketch to final release. Objectives, the process of creating compelling ad copy, designing visually appealing advertisements, principles and best practices, procedures involved in copy preparation and production, advertising layout formats. Before an advertisement becomes the finished form you see in a newspaper or magazine, it goes through several rough layout forms. The art director who designs the ad sketches various ideas by hand before deciding on the layout he prefers. Rough layouts can be done quickly and inexpensively to show clients what the ad will look like and get agreement from all parties involved before committing the time and money into producing the ad in its final form. Using design in advertisement is a common practice that helps companies create eye-catching visuals that attract customers' attention. Crafting an engaging ad copy requires a deep understanding of both your audience and the product or service you are promoting. The first step is to immerse oneself in the customer's world, consider their needs, desires, and the problems they face that your product can solve. This foundational insight allows you to tailor your message in a way that resonates deeply, making the ad copy not just seen but felt. Once there is a solid grasp on audience's perspective, the next step is to home message to be clear, concise and compelling. This involves highlighting the benefits of your product or service, not just its features. This means translating what your product does into why it matters for your customer. Using powerful action verbs and persuasive language to evoke emotion and encourage your response. Creating a unique value proposition UVP that sets you apart from the competition. Finally, testing and refining your ad copy is crucial for maximizing its effectiveness. Engagement is the cornerstone of any effective advertisement. To this end, incorporating interactive elements of emotional triggers can significantly enhance the ad's ability to connect with its audience. Storytelling, for instance, has emerged as a powerful tool in advertising, enabling brands to forge a deeper relationship with their consumers. By crafting narratives that resonate on a personal level, advertisers' testing and optimization are critical steps in the advertisement design process. With the vast array of digital tools available, advertisers can now gather real-time feedback and performance data to refine their campaigns. A by B testing, for example, allows for the comparison of different design elements to determine which versions achieve the best results. This data-driven approach ensures that the final advertisement is not only visually appealing but also maximizes engagement and conversion rates. Rough drafts. Rough drafts for advertising ensure that the advertising firm and its client agree on the tone and execution of an advertising message. If an advertising firm jumps directly from an idea to a finished product, it risks presenting advertising materials that do not satisfy the client. Rough drafts also give advertising firms a chance to hone their creative copy and make the best product possible. Client expectations. Knowing your client's expectations for the advertising material is critical to developing rough drafts. What the client wants to say with her advertising, you may waste time and resources creating advertising materials that do not apply to her business. Arrange a meeting with your client and ask questions about the product she wants to advertise, her target demographic, the tone she wants in the ads, and any other information unique to her business. Advertising company must create a number of ideas to pitch to your client before you can create rough drafts of the creative materials. Create enough ideas for the client so that he has options from which to choose. The client may need approval from executives to pursue an advertising plan. Too many plans could slow down the development process. Rough deliverables. Create a rough presentation of the advertisement idea. For instance, if the client agreed to a television commercial with animated talking cars, present storyboards and scripts for the commercials demonstrating how the talking cars ads will play out. Rough plan. Clients need to know how much of their money you will spend and where you will spend it. The rough advertising plan shows which demographic you are targeting and which medium you are using. Be detailed in your rough plan and stay under budget. If your client approves the rough plan, you can take the necessary steps to buy advertising space. The first step in the preparation and production of advertising copy is the meeting between the advertiser organization and the agency that would carry on the job. This meeting would provide the platform for both parties to appreciate the problem or needs of the advertiser in order to have a sense of direction for the campaign. The meeting will allow for a brief to be given by the advertiser. Afterward, the agency would make suggestions that both parties would deliberate upon and arrive at a conclusion by consensus. Contact report. The second step after the advertising brief is the contact report. The agency representative produces the contact report and distributes to concerned officers. The contact reports represents the minutes of the meeting, except that it is set out rather differently. The right hand side being ruled off as an action column shows the confirmation that some matters were agreed upon. It further necessitates quick action that must be taken by both parties. Preceding this, the account executive would give verbal report to the account director and agency head to emphasize his position in the copy process. Sample copy. The third step of the campaign requires the advertising agency to return to the organization with a sample copy which has solution to the organization to the brief presented to it. This stage is called the agency's response to the brief. This response consists of what the agency is suggesting to the advertiser or organization to do during the campaign period in order to achieve its objectives. The suggestions provided are supported with reasons necessitating them. More so, it is the proposal of the agency that is the comprehensive document of the advertising plan for the brief given by the organization. Copy platform. When these processes are achieved, the advertising agency draws up a copy platform. This consists of the researched items which would necessitate quick and qualitative production of the copy. Copy platform contains figures, facts and other information necessary for preparing an advertising copy. This evolved from the research endeavors of the agency while providing solutions to the brief given to it. This could be facts about the organization, the brand and media to be used, techniques of message delivery, prospective buyers, competitors, qualities, strengths and opportunity in the market. The copy platform process is responsible for the final copy that would be disseminated in the proposed medium. Issues that would give the creative writer a sense of direction are raised because his job requires deep thinking, imaginations and decision making. Layout. A layout is a plan for the physical appearance of an advertisement. It is no more possible to prepare an advertisement without such a sketch than to construct a building without a blueprint. The term layout is an advertising colloquialism. It is a simple way of saying laying out the elements on the page. Sometimes, depending on its state of completion, names like comprehensiveness, roughs, visuals are applied with great freedom. Advertising layout definition is the design or final arrangement of something that is laid out and waiting to be reproduced, especially by printing. Example, advertisement. It lays out several graphic elements, example, color, body headlines, and establishes the overall appearance and importance and is usually prepared to explore different arrangements before the final layout. In package design or point of sale, where it is often necessary to prepare layouts in three-dimensional form, the word dummy is popular. When illustrators talk about their preliminary visual concepts, they usually stick to the simple designation sketch. But no matter what the name is, it all refers to the same thing, a description of the first draft of what will eventually be a finished piece of art. Purpose of layout. Layout is a great saver of money, time and temper. It serves as a means of accomplishing several goals. 1. Layouts permit the art director to arrange his elements within a specific area. This may be a simple matter or it may call for considerable skill at juggling. It all depends on the number of elements to be included in the advertisement. Headline, text, signature, one or more illustrations, a slogan or some of the pieces that must be fitted in like a jigsaw puzzle. The area of the screen is not the art director's only concern here. 2. The layout is a way to visualize the idea. There is a fine distinction between arranging elements on page and visualizing an idea. The former is a designer's or layout man's feat. His innate sense of composition, balance, color is brought fully into play. On the other hand, presenting the clearest visual interpretation requires a strong desire to communicate with the audience, a flair for the dramatic, the ability to think in pictorial terms, visually referred to as visual sense, a trait that may belong to those who might have no artistic talent such as writers, and probably more significant, a firm understanding of the advertiser's goal. There are those with good ideas for getting a message across who become impatient with the rules of sound composition. 3. The layout gives the advertiser some idea of the final appearance of the advertisement. It permits the client to view the illustration before expensive artwork is contracted for. If for any one of a number of reasons he feels that the projected advertisement doesn't carry the proper message or possibly creates an undesirable image around his product, he has an opportunity to alter the plans at this point. Others involved in the creation of an advertisement also have a chance to see it at an early stage. Copywriters, account men, television producers, and directors. Switches in theme can still be made. Once the ad or commercial is in a more finished state, corrections can be extremely irksome. 4. The layout is a guide to artists, letteringmen, typographers, production people. If an artist is hired to carry out the job, he can get a pretty good idea of what is wanted from the layout. If photography is indicated, the photographer can use the layout as a blueprint in building his set, booking his models, starting his search for props. The lettering man needs the layout as a guide to size and character of his handwork. The ruled in lines for text show the typographer how much room he has and also give him an idea of the color of the body text so he can compute and choose his typefaces. The production man can judge whether it will be possible to finish up the art director's dream in the time allotted. 5. The layout helps in estimating costs. If advance estimates are needed, and they almost always are, the art director can start to break down the costs with the help of his layout. The various people who will be involved in putting out the advertisement can scrutinize the layout and gauge costs accordingly. The design process serves as both a creative and an approval process. In the creative phase, the designer uses thumbnails, roughs, dummies, and comprehensives. In other words, non-final art to establish the ad's look and feel. The final illustration with the actual type in place, along with all the visuals the printer will need to reproduce the ad. The approval process takes place throughout the entire design process. Advertising layout format explain the look or appearance for a particular campaign. He also considers the copy sheet to determine the form which is expected to take, thumbnail or miniature layout. The thumbnail sketch or thumbnail is a small, rough, rapidly produced drawing artist uses to visualize layout approaches without wasting time on details. Here the designer sketches his mind's picture in a sheet to help him develop on it. This experimental stage allows the layout designer to demonstrate his intentions practically. He uses wavy lines to show and represent each copy element. Furthermore, thumbnail layout format presents the ideas the words will represent, the elements to be used, the relative importance of the ideas and elements, and the order of presentation, which can be any size. Art director's thumbnail sketches are developed after he received the copywriter's roughs. A thumbnail sketch, as it often is called, is simply a sketch of few lines and shapes to show placement of the advertisement's elements. It is a miniature layout of the headline, copy, illustration, price and logo type is developed to try out ideas about how the advertisement might be laid out. 2. The rough layout. This format exceeds the thumbnail. It is in a larger format but carries more information than it is. Rough layout carries the resemblance of a finished work. It consists of the features of a proposed advertisement. In it, several drafts may be called out for rework on them to take care of revisions and changes. The final rough bears resemblance of the finished advertisement, but the elements are lettered in hastily and incompletely written. The elements' positions are so precise that printer can work with it to compose and make up the advertisement without problem. In a rough, the artist draws to the actual size of the ad. Headlines and subheads suggest the final type style. Illustrations and photographs are sketched in, and body copy is stimulated within lines. Comprehensive layout. It shows the precise positions, colors, sizes, shapes, etc. of the layouts. The ready to launch position of this layout makes it comprehensive. Proofs of composed types are positioned for clients who may want a closer representation of advertisement than is offered by rough layout. Comprehensive layout is the next step. Here, a careful rendering of the illustration is done by the sketchman on staff at the agency. Tempera and ink were used. Type was set and pasted on the ad. The complete layout was mounted on a board, then covered with the cellophane and framed in heavy white paper. A comprehensive layout is generally quite elaborate. With colored pictures at this stage, all visuals should be final. Finished art is now being prepared. The artist assembles the dummy by hand, a miniature version by using color markers and computer proofs, mounting them on sturdy paper and then cutting and folding them to size. A dummy for a brochure example is put together page by page to look exactly like the finished product. Making a layout is like uttering a sentence. There is usually more than one way of doing it. It is essential that an art director be familiar with the standards, but the principles should be absorbed not as rules but as source for inspiration. Creating visually appealing advertisements require a deep understanding of both design principles and the target audience. A successful ad design captivates the viewer's attention while also conveying the intended message effectively. This balance is achieved through the use of color, typography, imagery, and layout. Each element must be carefully considered and harmoniously integrated to support the overall objective of the advertisement. Moreover, the design should be adaptable across various platforms, ensuring consistency in the brand's message and visual identity.